Testing, testing. Testing. Hey guys, just double check if you let me know if you can hear me. Hey guys, I'll be with you in just 1 minute. I just gotta get some things set up. Okay, thanks for waiting, guys. I'm going to jump on this live session now and get rolling. Don't want to be on here too long. I got a busy day today again. It's spring, busy spring, which is good. But just wanted to review the markets real quick, see what's happening for today, and have a look at a couple of levels and see what may transpire. So just going to start with the usual breakdown of the of the US dollar index, and I'll work my way through a couple of pairs and a couple of commodities that I was looking at that I wanted to show you, and we'll wrap up the session here. So I'll probably be about 20 minutes and go from there. Because to be honest with you, the majority of the movement today was actually during London, and I actually put a signal out for the cable before London open that triggered, which panned out quite nicely. So anyway, I'll go through that here in a minute, but just going to start with the US dollar. You can see, let me zoom in here. Sorry, just before I get started, if you haven't already, check out our website at f45trading.com. You can sign up for free for 14 days for our signals that we hand out, and check us out on Twitter as well too. You get all of our instant notification and charts and a whole bunch of stuff that I send out via Twitter, and then obviously on Instagram at Future45 Trade Signals, which some people have seen. So just some shameless promotion there for our stuff. If you haven't already, make sure you hit subscribe down here in the bottom right hand corner, and you'll get instant notification when we go live next time as well. So real quick, just going to jump into the US dollar. We had a nice reaction off of this level right in here. Basically this last down candle right here is sort of where we saw some rejection. That came in at high came in at 89.08. Low on this feed came in at 89.01. So just some nice price action in there. Saw a nice bounce. Honestly, I don't know if we're going to continue higher. So you see up in here, price. Let me get rid of some of this stuff here. 1 second. A whole bunch of shrapnel on the chart here. Clean this up for you guys a bit. Okay, so price reaction very strongly right off of this this level in here, and again, like I was saying, the majority of the movement was in London today, and I'll just kind of drop down. You can see, put it on the day divider so you can see a little bit better. The open started right here. You can see this is London open right in here, and just reacted beautifully, pushed right up. Now I want to see price get above this high in here and start to challenge the lows of this consolidation. If that does happen, this will be a nice price continuation. So we basically had a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday reversal. Thursday, Friday should finish up if this is an actual bounce off of this level of rejection down in here at the, as I said, 88. You call it about 88.10 level. I'm sorry, 89.10 level. Beautiful reaction. If we get above this high here and we start challenging these lows in this consolidation area, I believe it should eventually punch higher. I mean, we'll have to see. Again, price has been trading in a consolidation level in here. So to be honest with you, the last run up, we took out these two short-term highs here. Failed to take out this one here, rejected, and now we've so far failed to go any lower than this low here. So price is just kind of trading right in between a range right now. It's sort of in a fractal state. It's just, you know, basically inside range trading is what it is right now. Failed to get higher than that high, failed to get lower than that low, and now we're just kind of chopping right dead square in the middle. If I took a fib off of this lot, off of this low, and I'm just going to take the bodies to the candles, you can see we're trading right smack dab in the middle at the 50% range. So if we see a push higher than here, I'll be looking for a reaction off of this candle here. Again, it's trading right inside of a range, so right now it looks like they're squeezing price. It's getting tighter and tighter and tighter, but that would be the target. So we're going to look for the highs, as I said, in and I just want to get a level. That was at about the 38%, we'll say. So that 38% retracement level right in here, that is right about the lows of this consolidation area. That's going to be the target. I want to see if they have any willingness, and they should. You see how they drove it down here, rejected. We should see a nice continuation higher above these highs here, and again, we should start running into the lows in here. Now, if it gets higher than this, then we can start planning for the highs into here to get swept. Could be a target for Friday. Friday could finish off very, very strong. We've had a lot of news this week come out, and we had price pushed down. That they ran price down in a big hurry, so they were definitely trying to fill a range in a big hurry and reacted off of it so far quite nicely. So again, this is the first target. This will be the second target, and then going into for today, and then going into Friday, we'll see if price has any willingness to get through the middle of this range. If we start to see candles close through the middle of this range, then we should see it push higher and then up into these areas in here. And for Friday, we could potentially look at the highs getting taken out, but we'll have to see if it gets through here first. So that's what we're looking at. And then, I mean, ultimately, right, I've said it before, said it 100 times, I'd like to see them come back and get this high in here. In my opinion, I don't think just taking out these two short-term lows in here was enough. I think eventually they're going to reach for this target in here, and then eventually these highs here. And then from there, where we go, I don't know. Price could start pushing up into the lows in here. The lows in here would be the next target if we hit above this high here, and then from there, like I say, we don't know. So that's on the short term, right? But again, we got to get through a couple of levels in here, but price is doing a real nice job pushing up. So we should, if obviously the US dollar is going higher, we should see the exact opposite reaction happening in the Euro USD, and I'll flip over to that right now. And you can see here, price ran up into the lows of this candle right in here beautifully. Yesterday's trading range, rejected, and now it's posting a nice down candle here on the day. Let me get rid of some stuff in here because it's no longer relevant. And I'll just run this guy off of that low. For all intents and purposes. Whoops. Let's take the high of this candle, actually. There we go. So, yeah, price ran off the lows in here and did not show a willingness to continue higher. We've rejected so far, and I would be looking, let me zoom in here a little bit. I'm going to be, oh man, sorry. So much stuff on this chart. This kind of stuff drives me nuts, too. I got to clean this up, guys. Hang on. Bear with me for 1 minute. Okay. So what I'd be looking for is there's a bit of confluence in here. You see the close here, the open here, and the close here. These three candles. I'd be looking for an area in there, and I'm just looking at the price. That comes in about 122.80. That would be a nice level for a target for the week. If we could get price to come in to that, in my opinion, that would be that range completed, and that would be sort of an easy target to stretch for. And that's not too far away. We're only at 123.20, so about 40 pips lower, so we could easily see that even hit today. And then again, we are trading in between a range right now, so the range high right here, and then the range low being right here, yeah, sorry, I got a line on there. Right here, this is the range low. We have yet to penetrate these highs or these lows, so again, price is just sort of trading in a bit of a range right now, so you have to take short-term targets on these, and if you can capture 30, 40, 50, 60 pips off of a run like that, great. Call it a day. I know several guys in our group were taking shorts off of this euro today, and we're getting into these types of levels, and you know, cleaning up 60 pips so far in the day. For me personally, that'd be a good range. You may want to hold out for another 40 pips and maybe try and get a 100 pip range on euro, and that would be one hell of a range for the day if you can capture that. So that's kind of the target. And again, you know, weekly target, we'd have to see if there's any willingness to go through this candle here. So I'm just going to drop down on an hourly, and you can see here it was a nice movement on price here. Just no willingness to continue higher, to challenge these highs here for the day. And the trade was in London, London Open. You can see I'm on an hourly, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 hours ago, which was, you know, right about the heart of London Open. Just some nice unwillingness to continue in here, which is a great tip-off. Price did not want to go above the high in here, and subsequently you can see the fall off from there. So very, very easy market to trade when it does stuff like that. Yesterday's trading day wasn't as nice. There's a lot of wicks in here, a lot of just due to that news and the extended FOMC meeting minutes coming out yesterday at 2 p.m. New York time. You can see sort of a delayed reaction in price movement towards the end of the day. So not a great day of trading. Monday and Tuesday, though, were very, very nice days. A lot of movement in there, and we're seeing a nice rejection in price here today so far. So like I said, just ripping back out to the daily chart, you know, I'm looking at the highs in here, this red line in here as a potential target, and you can see that coming down in here, and you can actually refine it a little bit more, and I would even say maybe even the tops of these candles in here would probably be a good potential target or hold for 122.80. Those big figure levels, you know, 70s, 80s, 90s, price typically likes to drive down for those types of numbers. So that may be a nice range on the day that it could come to fruition. And who knows on the week, depending on what Friday's going to look like, we could see some more continued push down and potentially challenging the lows that Monday had created on the week. So we'll see what the weekly range wants to do. You can see here so far it is a bit of a bullish candle, but just still chopping straight sideways in this range here. So we'll have to wait and see what Euro wants to do. Again, you know, we got to break out of the range. We failed to go lower through here. Sorry, not that one there. We failed to go lower through here. We've just took out this short-term low here, failed to take out the short-term high here. Again, trading softer. So we got to see. Obviously, it's ultimately up to whatever the U.S. dollar is going to do with the euro, and a little bit obviously about Euro GBP, which we'll go to in a minute. But you can see here, it's just still trading in a range. Still hasn't broken out. Can't wait for the day for price to break out of this range here. It's going to be a nice fun time to trade. But moving on, I just actually want to talk about Euro GBP real quickly. It is throwing some nice down candle in for the day here, which is why we're seeing a reaction, a higher move on the cable, lower move on the euro, and they're actually moving them today. Typically, you'll see price action moving. One pair will be moving, the other will be going kind of in a consolidating range. See the euros moving here. Euro GBP is moving down nicely, so that typically is a nice upward movement on the pound dollar. I'll flip over to the pound here in a second, but I think Euro GBP, we should be challenging this low here. I don't want to see them just tag an equal low and reject. I want to see them actually complete this movement down and close lower than here. And then we should get a nice movement up on the cable. But so far, you can see price had an unwillingness to continue higher through these lows in here and has rejected. So I'm kind of thinking that we could see weaker prices on the Euro GBP, which would be nice because, again, same type of thing. It's just been trading in a straight sideways range here since last September. And price really hasn't made a willingness to get out of that range other than a pip here or a pip there. So if we do see a continued range lower on this, I would like to see if price can, you see this small consolidation in here. I'd like to see if they have any willingness to come down and try to reach for the highs in that level. If we do see that, then we could see a nice continuation higher on the on the pound dollar and challenge those Brexit highs there. So I'll just actually switch over to the pound dollar here real quick, and I'll show you a trade we had taken on the pound earlier today for London Open. I put a signal out for the pound dollar, basically just to come in and scoop these lows right here. And I wasn't sure if it was going to challenge this low in here. It actually came in and it pretty much, and just so you guys know, this is a demo account, guys. I'm not trading live funds or anything like that in here with you guys, so there's no loss, no money being traded or anything like that. So just for liability purposes, just so you know. Yeah, price challenges this low rate in here, came down, touched off of 140, 145. a nice rejection, and prices pushed up higher. We failed so far to run higher than these highs here. I'm looking for that to run out for the New York session. New York session typically does a nice pullback, and then we should see a continuation higher. So far, prices failed to get below these lows. So if you are in this trade here, wow, that's a nice, nice pink line. Where did that come from? So far, as I say, prices failed to get through the old highs in here. It's just retested these, kind of like a breakout retest strategy. I don't want to see price go any lower than there. If it does, I'm going to kill this trade. So if there are any of my members in here watching this today, if you are in the cable trade and you did get in with our signal that we put out before London Open, and you got in on this trade, I don't want to see price go any lower than here. If it does, I'm going to cancel it. I've got my stop loss down here, which I'm going to adjust. Actually, I'm going to bring it up to about here. I'd permit a wick or two, like it's kind of done right in here, but I don't want to see it close lower than that, than the highs in here. I'll cancel the trade, and we'll look to get in on another drive lower, but. I think ultimately what we're going to be looking at here is the highs. So I'm actually looking for a sweep of these highs by about 10 pips. You can see here the highs come in at 142.40, but on this feed 142.42. I've got the take profit in here at 142.60. I'd love to see a sweep of these highs about you know, that 10, 15, 20 pip range. So that's what I'll be looking for. If it doesn't get up to the 60 level, I mean, I'd be fine with obviously 142.50 as well too. No issues there. I'll just be watching it as it's sort of tagging up in here, and if I don't see it wanting to push up to that 60 level, then I'll close it above here. But basically, as soon as it hits those highs, in my opinion, that's a win for the day, and we'll move to the sidelines and see what happens on Friday. And to be honest with you, I'm not even too keen on trading on Friday. The idea of the game is to capture, you know, as many pips on the week as you can, without having to do without having to go in and out of the market 1,000 times. So to be honest with you, that high down to our entry is a cool 80, almost 90 pips. You know, like I say, if I can get 100 on the week, that'd be my trading done for the week, personally. So anyway, that's sort of what I'm looking for on the cable. Back to the main platform here. US CAD, I actually haven't looked at US CAD for the week yet. It kind of drove me crazy. I was looking, the analysis I had done on Sunday's pre-recorded video, I had called a drop on the US CAD. Obviously that came to fruition nicely. Ran about 250 pips. For the week so far, seeing a little bit of rejection so far, and this is just due to the strength of that US dollar. US dollar is pushing up nicely right now, and US CAD obviously is going to see a little bit of rejection currently. So, but back to here, I wanted to see price come higher. I was actually hoping I could have got a reaction, a drive back up into this level in here. It didn't do it, unfortunately. I just wanted them to scoop these highs here. Just sort of turtle souped in here, ran the highs here by about just about 20 pips and rejected. So that was on Monday's trading. And to be honest with you, I wasn't looking at the markets when this move occurred, so unfortunately I didn't get it. I wanted to watch Monday sort of pan out and see if they had any willingness to drive into here. Again, didn't do it. Missed the opportunity, but if you managed to get this, that was a nice cool 250 pips on the week. So I would, if I were you, if you are in the trade like this, I would maybe, I don't necessarily know that price is going to come back down on this week on this trade. So if you did get in on any movement on this, I would assume that the movement would be capitalized in here as the lows, and I would have got out. Me personally, do what you want with your trades, but I would imagine they're probably going to push for these highs here and potentially maybe even jam up into here a little bit. That'd be a pretty big range though for this on the day, and this has just been showing so much strength to the downside. I don't think it would see a 60 pip run higher, to be honest with you. Going forward though, you can see a head and shoulders pattern in here that I was talking about, and price fell off nicely as I called. And going forward though, so where does the CAD go from here? You can see it had a nice eagerness to get through this area here, and I was saying when the price was doing this in this head and shoulders pattern, I said it's got to get through. It's got to get through this consolidation range convincingly, and you can see now it has done that. It's closed down. It's down through there, so I wouldn't be expecting them to come back up and re-challenge the levels in here again. Like I say, maybe, and I'm on a daily here now. Just cutting through some candles here, they may want to come back down, back up and retest these levels in here, potentially even this level here. So I'll just grab this guy here, and they may want to run up on the daily and try to challenge that. That would be more so into next week, I think that would happen. And again, that's just this small consolidation level in here. So about 60 pips away. They may want to do that, like I say, Monday, depending on, and again, that just all depends on how bullish the US dollar is going to be for the week. If we can get back above these highs here and start challenging these lows in there, then I would assume that US CAD is going to do the same, and we could get up into this level as well. So we'll be watching for that to transpire for the rest of the week and potentially into next week. And UJ... nothing. I don't want to talk about anything too much there. I don't know if any of you jumped onto Dave's live session yesterday, trading the S&P, but whoops. Sorry guys, I'm just fiddling with Windows here. Give me a second. I don't know if any of you guys got into Dave's trade yesterday on the S&P, but I'm sorry, on his live session yesterday. He talked about the S&P, gold, and USD yen. The call that he made on gold, you can see here, came out nicely. He said he wanted it to challenge these highs in here, and you can see it did that nicely yesterday. It just failed to get above that high there, but some nice bullish movement on it. And now, obviously, you can see with the rejection of the US dollar, we're seeing the subsequent move down. So gold has shown a little bit of strength in through here. It hasn't shown any willingness to come down and re-challenge these lows down in here. So we could see some movement higher on gold, which is nice. But you guys got to make sure you get onto all of our live sessions, because he was talking about a great move yesterday, and you can see how it panned out very, very nicely. So, yeah. Yeah, that was yesterday's trading, and he was talking about the move right about in here, and you can see how it ripped up, beautiful movement on it, and rejected, and now we're trading softer. So yeah, make sure you guys get in on Dave's sessions. He does Wednesdays and Friday mornings for the New York session, so he'll be on again tomorrow morning, so make sure you jump on there. Same thing, we had an S&P trade that we had taken. A little bit sloppy on the S&P right now, but we had taken a long off of these lows in here, and we're actually still sitting on that position, I believe. It's still an open position. I'd have to find out here. Bear with me for 1 second, guys. Yeah, it's still an open position. We actually got in. I can show you here. So again, this is why you want to take part in our sessions. Our demo account took a long here, and you can see nice subsequent movement, and prices so far failed to go lower on this, and we're expecting the old lows in this consolidation above price action to get challenged in here. So we'll watch and wait and see for that happen. Unfortunately, you missed the trade if you didn't get in on the live session yesterday, so you got to make sure you take part in all of those. But that's about it, guys. I wanted to talk about crude oil real quick. That's about it, sorry, in terms of Forex pairs. Just want to talk about crude oil quickly. Crude had challenged and taken out the old previous highs, so it actually set a new high, and it hasn't seen these highs again. Just so you're aware, this is a pretty significant move up higher there. Hasn't seen these highs since this area here, but obviously since October, these levels in here haven't been taken out since November of 2014, so pretty significant. I've been saying it for a very long time. I'm very, very bullish crude oil, and you can see here they reacted off of these highs in here very nicely, and screamed higher. And just took out the highs here. So I'd like to see a bit of a retracement on oil for the rest of the week, and then hopefully into next week we'll start to see it continue higher and push. I don't want to see this as a rejection. These candles in here, pushed up through here. I don't want to see a rejection and a failure. If they come down and sweep these lows in here, I've been talking about an area in here. See this old consolidation highs in here? I've been talking about just these lows getting taken out. So if they do want to drive it lower, that's the target I'd be looking for. I wouldn't expect them to come any lower than that, though. And frankly, getting below this low here, I'd be actually surprised. I'd be more so looking for them to see some sort of level of support coming in. Anywhere in here, basically. I know it's a bit of a big area. You kind of just gotta, with crude oil, it's sort of its own animal, and it kind of likes to drive down at its own pace. So I'd be expecting any of these levels in here to get tagged, and then again a continuation higher. So we'll see what happens there. It is showing some weakness in today, but it's got to get through a couple of levels, right? So we've got to get through this consolidation area here. If they want to do that, then again, I'll be looking for these lows to get swept and potentially price bouncing, maybe even somewhere in this level here. So we'll watch for that. But some great movement on that this week, and there's a lot of range in here to get captured. And they started right off the hop on Monday. They never looked back. They opened down here at their open price was on Mondays. Oh, that's weird. They're not showing me the. Their open price was $61.95, and price never came back to that level once. It just skyrocketed, and that was about a 540 pip movement. So if you got in on that, just so you know, one contract on that, that would have been over $5,000 on the week. So just so you're aware, the power of trading a commodity such as oil. You can make some serious cash in this market in a very short time. So just keep that in mind, guys. Anyway, moving on, we're looking at Bitcoin. Look at this thing here. I actually just, first time I opened up this chart today, I was calling a move much higher in Bitcoin. Look what they did. You can't tell me Bitcoin isn't manipulated. I mean, anybody who said that says that these markets are free supply and demand, you know, forget about it. Look at this. This is ridiculous. This is nothing but profit taking. I'm sorry, knocking people out of their positions. Look at that on the day. Haven't seen a move that big for a while, and they did it instantly too. It wasn't like a slow progressive move. Look at that. That was. These are 15-minute candles. That took 45 minutes to slam price up there, and look at the gap. That doesn't happen just on its own, guys. That was a lot of money pushing that higher there. And they had ripped all of the guys who had jammed their stops above these levels here, just took all those guys out of the market. And I'm suspecting, here's my thoughts on this. If price does not want to show any willingness to continue higher, so if we don't start breaking the highs on this, here's my thoughts on this. They're taking everybody who is currently short on Bitcoin, taking them out of the market, and they're going to drive price lower, and they're going to hammer down through this low right here. So just in case you were wondering, if you're a cryptocurrency trader, Bitcoin trader, I would be very suspect on that move, especially when it's like that. Look, when you see price wanting to go higher like that, typically what you see is them do this, you know, nice, steady, progressive candles higher. Not something that smashes higher in 45 minutes and literally moved. Like this thing moved 68.43 to over 8,000. It moved 1,500 points in a matter of 45 minutes. And that's huge. That's big money moving this, manipulating it. That's not an accident. It wasn't a fat finger or anything. All they're doing, that's a liquidity grab. So everybody who was in this market, who's getting short on here, they're short, they're moving their stop down. That's a run on liquidity right there. I wouldn't be surprised if they completely reject, run back down, and start to, like I say, challenge these lows in here. So just keep in mind, that's what I'm going to be watching for on Bitcoin. So if you're Bitcoin, you may not want to be holding anymore. You may want to start to settle some of your positions, because I think they're going to drive it lower. And look, I hope I'm wrong. I like Bitcoin. I like cryptocurrency. I believe that it's going to be the future of currency that's exchanged globally, and it's going to get a lot bigger before it gets before it goes away. But don't be surprised at them coming down and scooping these lows here and potentially running down here and going into further discount markets. So eventually I think they're going to start pushing back up into here, and then hopefully one day 20,000 will get nailed. But I don't think it's going to be tomorrow, I'll tell you that. There's a better chance of this thing going lower than it is higher. So that's my thoughts on Bitcoin. And I was calling Bitcoin lower, to be honest with you, in here, in this movement here. So I'll just step back real quickly. Just got to find the level that I was looking at. So way back here about 2 weeks ago, I'd said price is really doing a good job at trading in here, really trading the range, and I said I didn't want to see this level here broken, and you can see that it didn't. So I said I'm short Bitcoin, and price subsequently fell off very, very nicely. And it's just sort of been chopping sideways. So you know, when they start chopping price sideways like that, you're going to get a big range somewhere. And they did that today. I was actually not expecting this move right here. I was expecting them to move to the downside. But you can definitely see that they're moving price in a big hurry, and they're clearing out orders right now. They're gathering up, and I think they're going to jam it lower. But we'll wait and see on Bitcoin. But I'm not trading that today. Not touching that one bit. And these are the type of the trades as well too. The ones that skip that quickly and literally skip areas of price. I can see this gap right here. This is where your stop loss doesn't even get triggered. So just be careful on that. I mean, especially with crypto, you know, let's say I had my stop right above these highs here. Price is trading down nicely. I'm thinking, oh, perfect, this trade's going great. Stop's right here. Well, they skipped all of this price, and you may not have actually even got a stop fill until, I mean, up in here. Who knows? So that's sort of the risk that you're taking with, especially with crypto, because it's manipulated. It's not based on supply and demand anymore, because if that were the case, this thing would be over 100,000 with the amount of people buying Bitcoin. The only ones that are shorting Bitcoin right now are very, very large institutions and banks, because they are driving this price down. So anyway, I don't want to say any more about that. We'll wait and see how that pans out. Copper. A little surprised on copper that we've seen this big of a retracement yesterday and today. I was honestly looking for a drive higher, just based off the reaction off of these lows here. It could be coming back down, regathering some long positions and continuing higher, but I'm looking for higher prices on copper, so we'll wait and see how that pans out. If they start breaking these lows in here, then I'll be changing my stance, but so far I like the action off of here, and I think we could see higher prices going into next week, so we'll come back to that one. Not much in here I want to talk about either. Orange juice has seen a nice, I've been talking about this for a while, and it actually was a little bit concerning that they dipped price down into here so deep. I had kind of written it off, and then we saw a nice power move off of that in a retest back down into these lows, the highs of this consolidation level in here again, and they've expanded nicely. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see some bullish movement on orange juice. And if price presents itself again, I'll be looking at it. But to be honest with you, I don't see this every single day on orange juice. So it's a bit of a slow mover right now. Not too exciting right in here. So price would have to start making some pretty big gains in here for me to get excited on it. Now I just want to talk about real quickly sugar. For some reason my levels aren't in here. I don't know why. I set an alert, and I bet you that's gone to. Oh no, there's my alert. If price gets down to 1180 right here, basically, you see I got my alert right down there. There is a pretty big level down there that I'm looking at for price to bounce off of, and looking at getting a long in. And just so you know, guys, that's my target right above here, those two equal highs. And this is a monster trade. If this comes to fruition, by the way, and I'll be watching this is a monster trade. So this kind of stuff right here would make your year in trading. So I'm going to be watching for that. It could go lower. That's why I say I've got my level in at 1180. There is some levels that I'm looking at that could be a little bit lower than that, around 1120 to 1130. Even down to 1110, so we got to watch it. I'm not just going to buy it at 1180, but my alert's going to set up saying, yeah, price is heading down to the area where we should be watching it, and then we'll see. I'm hoping to see a subsequent bounce into from there, and a power move higher. So lots of time to get in it. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to buy here or anything like that. You know, if it is going to do it, price will give us signals and it'll give us movement in there. So we're sort of coming up into a time of year where we should start to see some bullish activity on sugar. So we'll watch for that. And natural gas, I like the price movement down here in natural gas. So far, an unwillingness to get lower than these lows here. We're going to be watching for this one as well too, especially coming into the summer months. You know, if we start getting some very, very hot weather, everyone's going to have their air conditioning cranked, and we should see the natural gas reserves start to drain a bit. And if we do, we should see natural gas run higher. You can see this huge move down from early this year. I'd like to see them start to recapture some of the price up in those levels. So we will watch and see if that wants to happen or not. So that's it, guys. I'm done for the day. Thanks very much for joining us. I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday. And Dave will be on tomorrow for New York Open and talking about S&P Gold and UJ as well too. So we'll catch up to you then. Thanks, and have a wonderful day.